Hey folks, and yes, my tongue is blue. I just had some candy, so please ignore my blue tongue. Hello everybody. Today's video is going to be a fun one. I compiled a list of both good and bad Halloween makeup releases, collabs, things of the last few years, things that I could find. I realized that it's not always easy to find like older Halloween releases because so many of them come out every year. Yeah, it was really hard to find some older things. So we're talking about stuff from the last probably 3 years, I would say, about that time period. But I went and compiled some things, the best and the worst in my personal opinion. And I will say, this is my personal opinion. If you like some of these things that I'm talking about, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I'm happy for you. I will be doing an anti-haul on Monday. It will be an anti-haul Halloween special. I will have like Halloween makeup on. But today I'm just doing like, I don't know, slightly less Halloween-y, but like still a little bit. Probably shouldn't wear this the whole video. But before I actually dig into the worst of the Halloween releases, I would like to say that today's video is sponsored by Belleza. Let's hop over to me from the future. Thanks, Abigail from the past. Today's video is sponsored by Belleza. So Belleza is a by women company about all things sexuality. That is sex toys, porn, erotica, sex ed, you name it. So super cool thing. My friends at Belleza and I are literally giving away free vibrators and free gift cards for vibrators for everyone who signs up for my giveaway. I'd actually heard about Belleza from a friend before the sponsorship deal even came about, and I have tried some of their toys. I actually got these 3 sent to me. I have the Air Vibe, which is one of their discreet series. This is actually quite quiet. Let me open up the box. And actually, if you are looking for some like high quality videos and high quality entertainment of the adult variety, they make some of the best series, like highly recommend. But all of their products come in these little boxes that come with a charging case, which I find to be very clever. I find the charging case to be really clever. It comes like this, and then with a little charging cable. This is the Air Vibe, but you open it up like this. It's dual-ended, so it has this suction cup clit stimulator as well as a G-spot stimulator, so you can have fun with both ends, and it's really nice, rechargeable. And the way that these recharge is that there's a little spot right here, these little dots on the side of every product. It lines up with the same little dots in your case, so you don't actually have to plug in the cord to the toy. You just put this in here, and then you plug the cord into the side of here. It's really easy. I do like this one a lot, but probably my favorite out of all the ones that I got is the Demi Wand. And this just looks like a glasses case. You know, it just looks like a glasses case. And this is this nice little soft touch silicone wand. All of these are waterproof as well. For those of you who have bathtubs and showers that you like to spend some me time, you know, in the bath and the shower. This one's my favorite. It has like this little adjustable neck. There's none of those like annoying vibe patterns, you know. If you know, you know. The patterns are annoying. This is just, you turn it on. It's very quiet. It's very quiet. If you are somebody who maybe lives with roommates or still lives with family and can't really just like display all of your sex toys out in your home, these are really nice and discreet. You can just tuck them away into your bag, tuck them away into your drawer. It's discreet, it's a carrying case, and it doubles as a charging case, which is also a win-win. And then the last one I got is the Pebble, which is a similar concept to the Air Vibe, but it doesn't have the dual end. This one is a wonderfully little ergonomic size for your hand, and it's got a little suction cup here. Let's see. This one's also quite quiet and quite strong, actually. I will repeat, all of these are waterproof, all of these are rechargeable, and none of them have the annoying pattern modes because I know I hate them. I hate the pattern modes. I'm just like, just turn it on and let me go. Just let me go, turn it on. I don't need beatboxing. I don't need the pattern modes. Now, they don't just have toys. Like I mentioned before, they have a huge selection of video with a wide array of themes, topics, series, you name it. But they're all about kind of this full circle, this whole experience. Belleza's mission is to empower everyone to embrace, explore, and celebrate their sexuality. So there's a ton of resources on the website, from sex ed to articles. You can just kind of peruse the website. It's not just like a porn website. It's not just a sex toy website. You get a lot of different things in one place, and it's kind of a one-stop shop. And they have toys for everybody. The Demi Wand being just a wand vibrator, it can be used for anybody with any kind of parts. Obviously, the other ones that are more suction cup based are for more like clit stimulation, so those ones are more specific, but there's different toys for different needs, so definitely go check out their website. I do highly recommend the toys. But like I mentioned before, we're literally giving away free vibrators and free gift cards for vibrators to everyone who signs up for the giveaway. So you have literally nothing to lose. So go to the link below, check it out. You won't be sorry. I'm sure you'll be happier afterwards, because that's kind of the point, all right? That's kind of the point. And honestly, the closer we get to the holiday season, these make great gifts. Thank you so much again to Belleza for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to me in the past. Yeah. Let's talk about some mediocre Halloween releases, because I will say, out of every holiday, Halloween is the one that I get particularly annoyed by brands phoning it in for collabs, because they work so hard for Christmas ones sometimes. They work really hard for Valentine's Day ones sometimes. Brands go pretty hard for fall-themed things, I will say, but Halloween is one of those that is so easy to do well. I feel like it's so just like ripe for intellectual properties and themes. You don't even have to use IPs to make good Halloween brands and Halloween products. We will get to the ones that I really, really like, and we'll talk about that after the first batch. But let's just dig into the worst of the Halloween things that I can remember in recent years that I could find on the internet. First, Kylie Cosmetics has done 2 different Halloween releases. The first one was actually not that bad, considering it was like kind of subtle, kind of like just kind of dark and spooky, a little like fall. It actually wasn't bad. I feel like Kylie's first few palettes and first few launches were actually not the worst, like not awful as far as eyeshadow palettes go. Were they overpriced still? Yes. But as far as like color stories and themes and stuff, like I can look back at those and be like, those are objectively kind of cute. But the Nightmare on Elm Street collaboration that Kylie came out with made literally no sense. Do you guys remember this? I remember seeing this come out and I was like, what in the world? Who thought that, yeah, let's have Kylie Jenner have a horror Freddy Krueger themed makeup palette? First of all, it had her name plastered all over it, which is almost like, it's like the opposite of what Hipdot does, where Hipdot loses their brand like visibility completely with collaborations, but Kylie makes it very clear that this is a Kylie palette. She'll put herself on it, she'll put her name on it, and then the inside was just like reds, which seemed so lazy when, like, I know Freddy's sweater are technically kind of Christmas colors, but like you could have done something with that. And with how much horror IP is popping off now, like you have video games, you have so many collaborations, you have toys, you have so many things that are coming out that are using horror IP, that like this was such a lazy attempt at a Nightmare on Elm Street collection, because it just didn't, it looked like a Valentine's Day. It looked like it could have been Valentine's Day. It looked like it could have been Christmas. It didn't look Halloween, okay? It was not good. I did not like it. Next is pretty much every Hocus Pocus palette that ColourPop has come out with. I will say the newest one is probably the most whimsical out of all of them, and I feel like it makes it's I don't want to say it's good, because I don't necessarily think it's good, but I think it's better than the other ones. I still think the art is really dumb. I still don't really like the art style that they're doing on all the ColourPop Hocus Pocus collab, and I thought it was also kind of dumb that they came out with a third one when they already had 2, but this was the third palette for the second movie. It was kind of confusing because it was like the third ColourPop Hocus Pocus palette, but for Hocus Pocus 2. I also haven't seen it yet. My mom thought it was in theaters and she was like, do you want to go see it in theaters? I'm like, Mom, it's playing on Disney Plus. It's not in theaters. Like, we can't go see it in a movie theater. She's like, oh, thanks for telling me that. I did not know. Yeah, the Hocus Pocus ColourPop collections are just nostalgia bait, I think. They're really nothing that special. They look like really any other ColourPop palette that has a vague reference to things or a vague theme that are like kind of like fall. It doesn't work that well. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like the things that ColourPop actually does like decently well, they do neutrals well because they're not hard. And then like springy themed palettes, I feel like ColourPop can get pretty good, but when it comes to like fall themed things and like more like dusty, grungy colors, like it doesn't really work that well. But anyway, yeah, that was something I didn't like. Next, The Simpsons and Makeup Revolution. What in the heck was this? I remember seeing this, I was like, when was The Simpsons like known for its Halloween thing? I did not watch much of The Simpsons at all growing up or now in adult life, so I don't know much about The Simpsons, but what I do know is that like I don't remember Halloween being like a big thing. And so for Makeup Revolution to do a collaboration with The Simpsons for Halloween just seemed so out of place. There are so many cartoons, especially cartoons from like early Nickelodeon, like an Real Monsters collab. Oh my gosh. Have like a little Oblina like 4-pack right there. Ideas. I don't know if you'd want like a Crumb one because he's like, he holds his eyeballs and he's got hair growing out of his armpits that are like really long. So like, I don't know how well the other monsters would work, but like Oblina, give it to me, please. I'm not going to say I will buy it because if it's bad, I won't buy it, but like I want it. I don't want this though. This is just so weird. So weird. Next, speaking of Hipdot, the Addams Family collection that Hipdot came out with looked so much like their My Chemical Romance collection, and then also kind of like old school Kat Von D that I was like, I am getting the most annoying case of deja vu. No, thank you. I'm very much a fan of the Addams Family. I like the Addams Family. I'm really interested in the new one. I haven't seen it yet. In the new Wednesday show, like I like the Addams Family as an IP. Like Gomez is like an S-tier man. Gomez is the only wife guy that we trust. Am I right? This was not that. It just didn't have the kind of like gothic romance that the Addams Family has, but then also the humor. While it's like a gothic romance of a show, it's also a comedy. Like it's also funny. So it didn't, and it was just boring. And again, Hipdot just loses their entire brand awareness when they come out with collaborations. Oh, which brand came out with this? I don't know. Oh, Hipdot? Okay. I'm just never that intrigued by the things that they put out, unfortunately. Next, another ColourPop, Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas, I worked at Hot Topic, okay? I worked at Hot Topic. I am wearing stripes. Hot Topic girl fall. I know this. We sold the crap out of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. I used to love the Nightmare Before Christmas. I still like the movie, don't get me wrong, I still like the movie, but I used to be way more into like the merch and like the accessories and stuff. I had one of those ragdoll perfumes that was the Sally themed one, which actually, very good perfume. If I can find something that smells just like the ragdoll, I would buy the heck out of that. Have you ever tried that? And it was like a Hot Topic perfume. I was like, this is really good. Like, what? I had it as a teenager and I loved it. But Nightmare Before Christmas, I feel like is one of those things that just won't die as far as like branding, merch, accessories, licensing all over the place. They are licensing The Nightmare Before Christmas, I would say definitely like on the same level as like Harry Potter, which is annoying because it's a movie that came out like 30 years ago. And you know, like we can only do Jack and Sally themed things so many times. We can only do that so many times. And after a while, it all looks the same. So ColourPop did one that was like pink and purple, which made zero sense for Nightmare Before Christmas. And then Disney and Mad Beauty. I have never heard of Mad Beauty in my life, but I saw that they came out with a Nightmare Before Christmas collab and I was like, this is ugly. This is just ugly. Like, it's just not good. And a couple of the comments were like, you can only do this so many times without it seeming repetitive.
So stop.
It's just not exciting. It's been overdone so many times. And like some people were saying how it was weird that they were coming out with this like a week before Halloween, but Nightmare Before Christmas is kind of seasonally appropriate from Halloween to Christmas. So that kind of makes that a moot point, but I'm just tired of it. It's a cool movie, don't get me wrong. I love Danny Elfman. I love the early Burton films. I love stop motion. It's beautifully made. It's a beautiful movie. But like, I'm so sick and tired of the accessories. Oh my gosh. They were still making those when I was in high school. Like 15 years ago, they were doing the same things. Like, it's nothing new. It's the same stuff. Not a fan. Next is technically just a fall release, but it's pumpkin. Too Faced Pumpkin Spice are the laziest attempt at a Halloween collection. It's honestly a lazy attempt at a fall thing because they've done it multiple times, which is basically just the same palette. And it's like the same thing as the gingerbread palette. With Too Faced, their fall palettes, their brown palettes, they just all end up looking the same. They all end up looking the same. There's nothing different. It was the peach palette. And I was like, what was the other one that was like smelly? The peach palette. Even the peach palette looks like kind of similar to like the gingerbread, which kind of looks similar to the pumpkin spice. It's just like Too Faced really has all of the like over the top, borderline tacky design aesthetic that could really make a Halloween collection fun. And yet they never do it. Like, please, like, just make something stupid and cheesy, please. Make something dorky and cheesy Halloween, because it's so easy, and yet they don't do it. Now on to the collections that actually did kind of tickle my fancy. The collections that actually was like, oh my gosh, I kind of like this. And you'll be not surprised by the fact that almost all of these are indie brands. They're almost all indie brands because the indie brands are the ones actually coming up with fun ideas. They don't have the kind of shareholders that they're beholden to. They don't have the same kind of people up at the top telling them what to do. It's just a person usually making some things with a small team of people, and they make some stuff. And it's usually really cool. First and foremost is the It's Frickin' Bats from Baddie Bean and Shroud Cosmetics that came out last year, and I love that palette. She just came out with another one. I'm blanking on the title. I love that palette. It's so good. The quality of Shroud Cosmetics shadows, always good. Like, I've never had bad luck with Shroud eyeshadows. I've always had a good time with them. I've always gotten on with them. And that whole palette was so Halloween and so perfect. There was like elements of Halloween Town, elements of it, elements of memes. Like, it was called It's Frickin' Bats. Like, there were so many different references to Halloween things that were not like blatantly like, this is an IP. And it was just, the color selection made so much sense with the greens and the purples and the kind of sparkly shades. I love that palette. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. It's one of my favorites. Like, I really do love it. And Betty Jean did a great job with it. Next is also one that's like not blatantly a Halloween one, but there are kind of like spooky, witchy themes in it. And this is the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. And Glaminatrix is actually a brand I've had my eye on for a little bit. They're from Australia. And that's the only reason why I haven't bought this palette, because every time I look, it's sold out. And also shipping from Australia is very expensive. So I've always just been like, I'll get it next time. This palette is so up my alley as far as like a fall kind of spooky thing. There's a color in there called Witching Hour. Like, the outside is just green. Like, a lot of the other palettes have like brightly colored cartoons and stuff and like skulls and things on the outside. This one's just very simple on the outside, but then when you open it up, you're like, oh, this is gorgeous. Like, I want this. So while it's not like specifically a Halloween collection, it is called the Nocturnal palette, and there's a color in there called Witching Hour. Like, it's very witchy, it's very October, it's very spooky, and I like it a lot. And I might I've actually seen a lot of indie brands come out with palettes lately that I'm like, oh, I want that. Like, what? Like, I haven't seen any big brands and like mainstream brands come out with things that I want, but the indie brands, they're bringing their A game right now. The one non-indie brand makeup Halloween release that I have seen in the last few years that I actually was not angry with was Melt's take on Beetlejuice. I feel like Melt did a really cool thing with the Beetlejuice collection. I feel like it could have been more concise, but the colors and the separating the two different color schemes into smaller palettes, I feel like really worked. They probably didn't need like 8 colors each. They probably could have done like 4 or 6. Melt did some really cool stuff for the Beetlejuice Juice collection. I feel like the packaging was really good. I know the quality of their shadows are kind of hit and miss, but from what I heard, the quality of those shadows were pretty good. And the colors made sense. It was like the green and the purple in one palette, and then it was all like the kind of zombie, spooky, like red, gray, black, taupey type stuff that was more towards the like recently deceased, handbook of the recently deceased side of things. And I will say, one of the things, like I haven't bought anything from Melt in a long time, and like there's some things that Melt has done that I'm not happy with, but like on the surface, Melt does a really good job with collaborations and intellectual properties and with like their branding and marketing. I feel like they do a really good job at marketing their collections. Whether or not the quality stands up all the time, I don't know. But like the marketing, like they're very good at marketing. Just like from the standpoint of somebody who was like in a marketing adjacent program in college and has consumed marketing for my entire life, they're really good at marketing their makeup. Like it's, everything is always like spot on, pretty, the branding images, everything's always good. But yeah, Melt's the one recent Halloween collections where I was like, oh, okay. I might have anti-hauled it at the time because I was like, I don't need this, but like compared to other Halloween things, this is not that bad. Because Beetlejuice, again, so much stuff to pull from. So much stuff to pull from. I seriously think I should just do Lydia on Monday. And then last but not least was one that I saw posted by one of my besties, Lacey, Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, on Instagram. I feel like Lacey's one of the only people who I still follow who posts like full like makeup posts that are not makeup brands, because I love Lacey. And also I get to see Lacey's dog, which is great. The Gourmand Girl Cosmetics is another indie brand, and they came out with a palette called Spooked, and it was a collaboration actually with a creator. And this is so pretty. It's really pretty. Like it's really pretty. The colors in here are really saturated. There's a nice mixture of shimmers and mattes, and like I have mixed feelings about like stamping patterns into shadows that are all kind of different. For Halloween, it kind of makes sense because it's kind of campy. It's kind of over the top. It's a little bit ridiculous. The colors are really pretty. They're really rich and vibrant, and it feels very festive. It feels like you could use it year round, but it would also be really fun for like very like avant-garde type looks during the fall. It's really pretty. Like it's really pretty. Do I want 3 palettes right now? I don't need 3 palettes. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I bought a new makeup palette or got a new makeup palette. I think it was, I don't know. Yeah, the Spooked palette by Gourmand Girl Cosmetics looks very up my alley. And I'm like, oh dang. So hopefully this exposed you to some new indie brands that maybe you haven't seen before, because that is one of my favorite things. Like honestly, if I could just follow and use indie brands, that'd be great. But I know sometimes it's like they don't always have things in stock all the time, and because it's a small business usually. So I'm always very pro indie brands. So hopefully you found out about some new ones today. Yeah, those are all of the best and the worst of the Halloween collections that I can remember in recent years. Let me know if there were other ones that you remember. There were probably some that I just literally didn't talk about because they were so forgettable. It was like any of the non-makeup themed makeup ones that were like the Nightmare Before Christmas like makeup erasers, which is so pointless. It's like, yes, I want to wash my face with Jack Skellington on a washcloth. What? Why? No. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what are some Halloween products that you remember being either very good or very bad, because there were a lot of them. For today's song of the day, let's see. Actually, what was I listening to? Oh, today's song of the day is Midnight Sky by Miley Cyrus. For no other reason other than just it's a good song and I've been listening to it a lot. I really like Miley's newer stuff. I really like Miley's like kind of like 80s pop rock stuff. It's very much a thing that I enjoy, and I feel like her voice fits it really, really well. Ever since she did the cover of Zombie by the Cranberries at Whiskey A Go-Go for the like Save Our Stages thing in 2020, I am obsessed with her rock era. Very much obsessed with Miley's rock era. And Midnight Sky is like very glam rocky and I am a fan. So yeah, you should listen to it. It's really good. Thank you again so much to Belleza for sponsoring today's video. Definitely, again, go check out the link below for a chance to win. Literally, you have nothing to lose. If you would like to follow me on any of my other social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both abers07. 07, and then my Twitch and my TikTok is Abbers without the 07. So I'm gonna start posting some Sims content on TikTok. I am actually gonna start doing that. I might actually download like an editing software on my phone because I don't like using the TikTok editor. It's not easy for me. Hope you are having a good day, everyone. I hope you are taking care of yourself. I hope you are staying hydrated, staying well rested, more rested than I am because I have not been very well rested lately. So, you know, have a good weekend, everyone. If you would like to hang out with me on Twitch, I will be streaming on Friday and Saturday. Yes, come hang out with me on Twitch. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all on Halloween. Bye. Hello. Hi. Are you going to bed?
I'm getting ready to go to bed.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Like and subscribe.